You didn't stumble into this video by coincidence. Somewhere in the quiet space between your thoughts and your breath, something aligned. A frequency matched, and now you're here. This isn't just another piece of content. This is a doorway, a remembering. Because long before you were told who to be, what to want, or how to speak, there was something deeper. A vibration, a rhythm, a sacred hum beneath your words, your heartbeat, your very presence. This video isn't here to explain. It's here to remind, to invite. You're not here to understand with your mind, but to feel with your whole being. So take a breath. Let the noise of the world fade for just a moment. You've been called not loudly, but clearly. Not by accident, but with precision. Welcome to the sacred vibration. You didn't find this video by accident. And that's not just poetic talk. There's a frequency that brought you here. One that moves beyond words, and yet it's hiding inside every word you've ever spoken. Long before we had language manuals, before grammar rules, there was vibration. And in the ancient world, few understood vibration the way Thoth did. He wasn't just the Egyptian god of wisdom. He was the architect of sound as creation, the master of frequencies that could shape entire realities. We've been told magic is illusion. But what if it's actually physics we've forgotten? In Thoth's teachings, words were never just communication, they were intention in motion. And one word captures this perfectly: abracadabra. Most of us grew up thinking abracadabra was a cartoonish phrase, something magicians said before pulling rabbits out of hats. But its roots are ancient, traced back to Aramaic, and it translates to something surprisingly powerful. I create as I speak. Let that settle in. Not I wish, not I hope, but I create as I speak. When you say something with clarity, repetition, and presence, it begins to resonate first through your body, then through your nervous system, and eventually through the environment around you. Science is catching up to what Thoth and many ancient mystics already knew. Studies show that sound changes our brainwaves. Different frequencies can help with sleep, focus, healing, even cellular regeneration. Water reacts to sound. And guess what? You're mostly made of water. One Japanese researcher, Dr. Masaru Emoto, froze water samples after exposing them to different words. Love and gratitude produced stunning, symmetrical crystals, while hate or fear led to chaos. If your words can shape ice, what do they do to your cells? It's a strange thought that the voice in your head might be designing your reality. But think back. Has anyone ever said something that stuck to you for years? A single sentence that either built you up or broke you down? That's not coincidence. That's vibration in action. And here's the hard truth. The universe doesn't care what you want. It responds to what you vibrate. That means you don't attract based on wishful thinking. You attract based on alignment. This is why affirmation without embodiment falls flat. You can say, I am powerful 100 times. But if your tone is doubtful, if your energy is scattered, you're just sending mixed signals into the field. Thoth wasn't handing out spells, he was passing down a system. A frequency technology. One that starts with your awareness, flows through your breath, and lands in your words. Not to impress the world, but to impress your reality with who you really are. So next time you speak to others, to yourself, to the silence, ask, is this just noise? Or is it a vibration I'm ready to live inside? Because you are speaking your world into being, whether you mean to or not. We've been told the formula is simple: ask, believe, receive. That if you want something badly enough, love, money, peace, purpose, the universe will somehow hear your wish and hand it over. But if you've tried that, You probably know it doesn't always work that way. And maybe you've wondered quietly in the middle of the night, why not? I've done the affirmations. I've made the vision board. I'm trying so hard to believe. Thoth would tell you, manifestation doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to what you're aligned with, what you're ready to hold. It's not about convincing the universe. It's about becoming the kind of vessel that can sustain the reality you're asking for. Think of it this way: you can't pour a gallon of truth into a cup that's only half open. If you want deep love, but you're still vibrating in self-doubt and fear of abandonment, you won't attract love, you'll attract more evidence of that fear. Not as punishment, but as a reflection. Not to shame you, but to wake you. The universe is always reflecting, never judging, and energy doesn't lie. That's the uncomfortable part. But here's the beautiful part: you're not stuck. You're not broken. You're just learning how to expand your capacity. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, every breath you take while being yourself, these are signals. And the universe is incredibly precise in how it reads them. It's not listening to your wish list. It's tuning into your frequency. You say you want peace, but does your nervous system know what peace feels like? You say you want freedom, but are your habits still born from survival and scarcity? It's like asking to hold a flame when your hands are still shaking. Not because you don't deserve it, but because your body isn't used to the warmth yet. And this is where Thoth's wisdom becomes real. He taught not just the mystery of sound, but the practice of internal harmony. When your thoughts, feelings, actions, and words vibrate in sync, reality begins to shift, not as a reward, as a response. Maybe you've had moments like that when things just flowed, when opportunities came seemingly out of nowhere. When your body felt calm, your words felt true, and life just met you there. That wasn't magic. That was resonance. So no, manifestation isn't about faking it until you make it. It's about aligning slowly, honestly, consistently, until your outer life becomes a mirror of your inner truth. Wanting is easy. Holding is sacred. And the question isn't, what do you want? It's, what are you really ready for? Let that guide you. Not your hopes, but your readiness. Not the future you crave, but the self you're becoming right now. Before anything came into form, there was space. Before the first sound, the breath. Before the sacred word was spoken, there was silence. Not the kind that feels empty or hollow, but a fertile silence. One that holds the potential of everything, waiting for the right vibration to call it forth. In the teachings of Thoth, sound was never random. It wasn't just noise, it was intention given shape. But intention only becomes powerful when it arises from stillness. That's where its precision lives. You've probably felt this. When you rush to say something, it often comes out messy, reactive, fragmented. But when you pause, just for a moment, your words shift. They land differently. They come with more weight, more truth. There's a quiet ritual I started during a difficult season in my life. Every morning, before I checked my phone or spoke a single word, I gave myself 5 minutes of silence. No agenda, just breath, just presence. At first, it felt pointless. My mind raced. I wanted to fill the space with something, anything. But slowly, the silence became familiar. It stopped feeling empty and started feeling alive. And here's what changed. The words I chose afterward were fewer, but they carried more. I stopped talking just to fill space. I started speaking from it. Science, once again, is catching up to this truth. In states of meditative silence, the brain shifts into alpha waves, the same frequency associated with flow, clarity, and calm creativity. Your heart rate slows. cortisol levels drop. You become more coherent mentally, emotionally, energetically. And from that coherence, a different kind of voice emerges. One that doesn't need to prove or push. It simply resonates. This is what Thoth meant when he spoke of divine speech. Not just eloquence, but energy that is born from stillness, from alignment, from truth. In our noisy world, silence is often seen as absence, a void to be filled. But in spiritual traditions, silence is presence. It's the womb of reality, the dark, fertile soil where your next version of self is already taking root. So if you're feeling scattered, unclear, disconnected, don't rush to say more. Don't force another affirmation or repeat what doesn't feel real. Instead, return to the silence. Not to escape, but to remember. Because before you speak it into existence, you have to sit in the place where it already is. That's not passivity. That's precision. That's manifestation in its purest form. There's a quiet power in the way you speak, not just the message, but the energy underneath it. Every word, every tone, every pause, it all carries information. Not just to others, but to the universe. And even more importantly, to yourself. Thoth taught that language is not just a tool, it's a technology. Each word is a code, a frequency, a rhythm, a spiritual command. When you speak from alignment, when your body, emotion, and intention are unified, your words become more than noise. They become architecture. You're not just talking, you're programming reality. And the most powerful programming, it doesn't shout. It doesn't convince. It resonates. Here, what that looks like in practice. Each morning, before the world gets too loud, choose one sentence. One statement that aligns with the version of you you're becoming, not the one you're fighting. Something that carries weight. That feels just slightly beyond your current self, but not foreign. Not, I am a millionaire, if you're in fear about rent. But maybe, I am building stability that holds me. Not, I am love, if you feel numb. But I speak gently to the part of me that's learning how to receive. These aren't affirmations to force a future. They're keys to unlock your next step. And when repeated with breath, presence, and stillness, something changes. Not just around you, but inside. There's a reason sacred mantras are rhythmic. Why ancient chants loop and pulse like waves? It's because rhythm moves the nervous system. It doesn't just impress your mind, it imprints your being. Try saying this out loud. I create as I speak. My word is seed. My breath is wind. My sound shapes light. Say it slowly. Feel the vibration behind each syllable. Let it echo beyond meaning into resonance, into truth. That's not just speaking. That's remembering. That's returning to the creative force within you, the one you've always had. Thoth never asked us to believe blindly. He asked us to remember our voice and to use it not to escape life, but to create from it. So ask yourself tomorrow morning, before the coffee, before the scroll, before the world enters, what vibration will I begin with? What code will I carry in my speech? Because the way you speak is the way you cast your future. You've heard the words, you've felt the resonance. But now comes the question we all eventually reach. How do I live this? It's a question echoed through thousands of comments whispered from people just like you. I feel the truth in this. But how do I actually bring it into my daily life? The answer isn't in trying harder. It's not in adding more to your already overflowing list. It's in choosing simplicity, repetition, gentle rhythm. It's in learning to speak what you live and live what you speak. For the next 7 days, I invite you into a ritual. It's not a challenge in the typical sense. There are no prizes, no pressure, just a quiet commitment, a pact between you and your deeper self. Each day, you'll follow 3 simple steps. Step 1, 2 minutes of silence. Before the world begins to ask anything of you, before the noise, the notifications, the pull of the day, just sit. Let your breath find its own rhythm. Let your body arrive. This is your fertile silence where truth begins. Step 2, choose one sentence. Not a wish, but a declaration. A phrase that feels alive in your body. Something that rings true or true enough to grow into. Maybe, I move through this day with clarity. My words match my energy. I do not rush what is sacred. Let the sentence be short, specific, and felt. Write it down. Say it aloud. Let it settle into your bones. Step 3, one small act that honors it. If your phrase was about clarity, maybe you clean your desk before working. If it was about presence, maybe you pause and feel your coffee warming your hands. This is the key, a visible, tangible moment where your words become action. And that's it. Silence. Sentence. Symbolic act. Repeated for 7 days, this is more than routine, it becomes rhythm. A vibrational alignment that reshapes the way you carry yourself through space and time. Because the truth is, the universe doesn't need more noise. It doesn't need another wish list shouted into the void. It's listening for consistency. It's responding to those who are willing to bring their words all the way into form. And when you do that, even gently, even imperfectly, something begins to shift. You stop chasing. You start embodying. That's how you build trust. Not just with the universe, but with yourself. So begin tomorrow, or begin now. You don't need more time, you need more presence. Speak what you live what you speak, and let the rest unfold in its own rhythm. Who are you when you stop trying to become something else? It's not a trick question. It's the one that sits beneath every manifestation ritual, every affirmation, every search for alignment. It's the question Thoth quietly holds in his gaze, not to judge, but to reflect. Because Thoth was never just a god of magic. He wasn't a genie waiting to grant wishes. He was the scribe, the mirror, the keeper of eternal patterns. And more than anything, he was a reminder, a signal that you are not a beggar in this universe. You are a builder, a rememberer. You're not just here to create your reality, you're here to remember how you've always been doing it. Every day, every thought, every word. You're weaving the structure of your life in real time. And once you remember that, once you see it, everything changes. Suddenly, you're not trying to make something happen. You're not pleading with the universe to notice you. You're living as someone who already knows they're part of it, woven into its code, breathing its rhythm. That's why your words matter. Not because they're magic tricks, but because they're your echo, your signature. So what if, just for today, you lived as if every sentence you spoke was a sacred vow? Not dramatic, not performative, just present, precise. You say, "I'll be there at noon," and you mean it. You say, "I'm learning to be gentle with myself," and you practice it. You say, "This moment matters," and you slow down enough to let it. That's alignment. That's sovereignty. That's remembering. Because you don't need to chase power. You are power learning how to hold its shape without losing your own. Thoth didn't teach people to become gods. He reminded them they already carried divine architecture in their bones, their breath, their voice. So if you're waiting for a sign, this is it, not to start something new, but to return. Return to the part of you that knows how energy works. Return to the frequency of trust. Return to the fertile silence before the word, and then speak like you mean it. Because you do. You've searched for the Book of Thoth, the hidden tablet, the lost code. But what if I told you you're holding it right now, not in your hands but in your life, the words you speak, the silence you keep, the actions you choose day after day. This is the book, and you are the next page. You don't need to decode ancient glyphs to uncover sacred wisdom. You are the glyph breathing, vibrating, translating the eternal into the everyday. The magic isn't somewhere else. It's already flowing through your voice, your choices, your presence. So the question isn't, where is the book? The question is, are you ready to write your part? Not with perfection, not with pressure, but with clarity, with reverence, with truth. Speak like someone who remembers. Live like someone who carries meaning. And let this next breath be the line that begins your next page.